Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, write a Java program to convert a date literal to string literal, that is date data to string type of data. There are two ways to convert a date literal or date data to the string data. One is the old way and other one is the latest way. We generally have to go with the latest way, but as part of this answering this particular question in a practical way, I'm going to show you how to convert this date to the string format in the old way and in the latest way. Okay. So there may be some people who will be still using the old way, and there may be some people who will be using the latest things also in the programs. Okay. So it's not deprecated yet. Old ways are not deprecated yet. Until they are deprecated, we should not stop learning about them. So old way should be discussed and latest way also should be discussed. In the old way, we have to use the date class and simple date format. Okay. And in the latest way or new way, okay, we have to use local date class and date time formatter. Okay. So these are the things that we have to use for converting the date literal to the string literal in Java programs. Okay. So let's get started with the practical demonstration. For that, I'll switch to Eclipse IDE and create a new class here. I'll just name this class as date to string. Date to string demo. Okay, date literal or date data, I'm going to convert into the string data and print in the output console. That's what I'm going to do. So first of all, here in the program, first control plus, I'll simply write down here. I'll create an object for the date class, guys. This is the old way, guys. First, I'm going to show you the old way. Okay, old way for converting date to date literal to string literal in Java. Okay, string literal. So how to do that? For that, I need to create an object for the date class. Date is equal to new date. Date is equal to new date, and control shift O, import this date from java.util package. After that, date got imported from java.util package. Now you have to write down. Now you have to print this date, guys. Okay, before converting this date into the string format, if you print this date and see how it is getting printed in the output console. Okay, how the date is getting printed in the output console, you just see that here. So here is the output. If I create an object for the date class and print that particular object reference of the date class, right, the date is getting printed like this, but I want to convert that into some string. So for that, here in the old way, I have to use simple date format class. Simple date format SDF is equal to new simple date format, simple date format. Okay. Simple date format, control shift O. And here SDF dot, I'll say format, and I have to say date. I have to pass the date. SDF dot, using the object reference of the simple date format, I have to call a method known as format method. Okay, and I have to provide the date. And in which format have to convert? Here we have to provide the format, guys, in which you want to convert this particular date into the string format. This format method will give you the return type as string. You see string. Okay, date text, I'll say date text. In the string format, it's textual format we converted. But here in which format, whatever the date is there, that you have to print in the string format. In which format? DD hyphen mm hyphen yy. Okay, this is the format I want. Okay, or if you want hours and minutes also, you can write like this: hours and minutes. Okay, ess. Okay, whatever you want. Okay, like this we can write the different format in which you want. And now print out the string, converted string. So this is how, using the format method, we have to convert the date literal type into the string literal type, and printing the string literal type, that is date text. Run this code and see. First, original date before converting to string will be printed, and after that, after converting to string will be printed. You see, Wednesday, May 15, 1937, 43, IST 2024 is the original one. Here, the converted one is converted string format is date format. When date literal, when converted to string type, right, you have to use a format method using which is a predefined method of the simple date format class. And you see, whatever the format we gave here, that is whatever the format we gave here. Okay, I'll just go make it up. You can see it here. Whatever the format we gave here, DD MM YY. You see, date, month, year, and hours, minutes, seconds. Okay, everything has come here and I have printed out. Okay, so this how in the old way. This is the old way of converting the date literal to a string literal, date data into string data. Now, new way or latest way for converting date literal to string literal, I'm going to demonstrate now. How means here we have to use something known as instead of date class here, instead of date class that is used in the old way, we have to represent the date in local date format. Here for the date class, we have used new keyword for creating an object, but here we don't have to create an object, guys. Local date dot now we have to say that's it. Okay. When you say now means today's date, it will take, and here it will return you the object of the local date. Okay. Local or LD, you can say LD. LD means local date. Hover the mouse on this create local variable. Okay, local date LD is equal to here. We don't have to use any new keyword. We have to call the static predefined method of the local date, and the return type of the static predefined method is nothing but the local date object. Okay. Now, if I print this LD, how it is getting printed, you see. Okay. When I print this LD, the date as it is. Okay. Instead of date, I'm using local date, which is the latest way. You see, it will be printed like this: 2024-5 15. Okay. If you want local date and time, both you want. Okay. Local date and time also is there, guys. Okay. You can, if you don't want to use local date, you can use local date and time. Okay. So there's another thing, guys, that is a local date time dot now. Okay. So if you want both date and time, you have to say local date time. If you want only date, you have to say local date dot now. Okay. If you have to say only local date. If you want only time, this is a flexibility you have in the latest things, guys. Okay. Either you can say local time dot now, you can say that, or you can say local date dot time, local date dot now, or if you want both date and time, you have to say local date time dot now. Okay, I'll go with the local date time because you'll get both date and time. Otherwise, here only date is getting printed, guys. I want both date and time to be printed. So LDT, I'll say local date time. Hover the mouse on this and create local variable and print it out. System.out.println. Okay. All this local date, local time, local date time will work in the same format, same way, guys. Okay. You just take one of the thing. I'm taking local date time because it has both date and time here. Run it as Java application and see in the output, you will get something like year, month, day, T. T means time, separating the date and time. 19, 40, 48 nanoseconds are also coming. Nanoseconds are also coming. So now what I want to do is I want to convert this particular latest way of printing the date into the string format. To convert that into the string format, we have to use date time formatter. Date time. There's something known as date time formatter dot format method you have to call. Sorry, you have to call of pattern, you have to say of pattern method you have to call here. Here we should not be using the new keyword for creating an object like simple date format. We are not going to create an object for date time formatter. We have to call a predefined method of the date time formatter, predefined static method of the date time formatter known as of pattern. And here we have to give the pattern in which you want to convert that particular date into the string format. Okay, DD, same format I'll give. Whatever the format I gave here, the same format I'm going to give, guys. Okay, day, month, year, hours, minutes, seconds. Like that, the same format I'm giving to convert. Now what I have to do is, if I hover the mouse on this, it will return you an object of the datetime formatter. DTF is equal to, I'll say DTF is equal to, hover the mouse on this and say create local variable. Okay. Now guys, I have to use the object reference of the local date time. You say dot. There's a method known as format method. I should not be using the object reference of the simple date formatter here we use for format, right? Here we have to use the predefined method of the local date time. We should not be using the predefined method of the date time formatter. So using the object reference of local date time, I'm calling that format method. And here we have to pass the formatter. Inside this, we have to pass the formatter, guys. Okay. Earlier here we have passed the date, right? Here date dot format of date time. Reverse way it will be. Okay. Here we have to pass that as date. Here date dot format of formatter you have to get. Here format dot format of date. Here date dot format of formatter. Okay, like that. That is the difference, guys, between the old way and new way. You have to get acquainted to it, adjusted to it, and it will return the string LDT date, LDT text, date text 2, I'll say. Okay, date text latest way is 2. I'll just print it out, system.out.println, and I'll say date text 2, and see whether the local date which is there in the date format is getting converted to the string format and printed in the output console or not. Let's see that here. You see it's getting printed here. You can see that, guys. You can clearly see the output. This is the output, guys. This is the output you got. This is the same format we got, right? Okay, here also we converted. Okay, Originally, the date, local date is getting printed like this in the latest way. And, if you want to convert that to string and print it, you can convert like this and print. For that, we have to use the format method of the local date time class or local date class or local time class. Here, in the old way, we have to use a format predefined method of the simple date format to convert that date into the string text. Okay. So these are the old ways and new ways for converting the date literal to the string literal in Java programs, guys. Okay. So hope guys you got the answer for this question with practical demonstration in this session. So if you want to practice, you can take a screenshot of this code. You can take a screenshot of this code, guys. I adjusted the screen. You can take a screenshot of this code. So hope guys you have taken the screenshot of this code and hope that you will practice in your machine. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye-bye.